Hey there, this is Red. It's time for another episode of Red Plays. So we're back to Ant-Man versus Klaw. So we've got the pre-constructed Ant-Man deck just out of the pack, and we've got standard Klaw that we're 1-1 against right now. So we're hoping that we can bring the game this time and take Klaw out yet again. It worked pretty well last game, so let's see if we can do it again. So, all right, it's game time. We've got Klaw out there. He starts with the defense network according to underground distribution. Well, actually, it's on the other side of underground distribution. As part of the setup, it comes out. The next thing we need to work on is when revealed, discard cards from the counter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play. So we're going to see if we can find a minion. Ooh, we've got an armored guard. Ooh, all right. Now he starts with tough. So I've got to remember to give him the tough status card when he comes into play. And he's got guard. All right, so let's get Scott Lang ready at this point in time. We need 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I spent a lot of time early on in the last one trying to figure out what in the heck I was going to do. Holy cow. Look at that hand. So that's 3 double resources and a PIM's particles. Oh, man. Okay. What to get rid of? So I think we're going to get rid of Moxie. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to get rid of 2 double resources. Is that what I'm going to do? I think so, because all these resources don't do me a lot of good, and I'm hoping I can get an ally. So we'll see if that's a good decision. We're going to mulligan those 3 cards. And we're going to get an army of ants, a first aid, and another PIM particles. All my resources are going out at the beginning of the game. That's not how this is supposed to go. All right. So I think that makes it pretty clear what I'm going to want to do on the first part of my turn here, because I have like all of the army of the ants in the world. So, well, I've only got 1. Sorry. I thought I had more than 1. I've only got 1. Probably going to use our PIM particles to play Army of Ants and draw another card. Maybe we can draw into something awesome at this point in time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to change on over to small Ant-Man form. We're tiny. All right, when we come into play, we have Puny Pest that says, after you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So we're going to take 1 off the defense network. All right, next up, we're going to use our PIM's particles. So PIM's particles says, after you spend this card, heal 2 damage from your hero if you're giant. If you are in tiny form, I'm going to draw a card. All right. So, and I guess the other thing to note is it's a hero response. So I have to, when I use it in hero, is only when that happens, which makes sense because I have to be in either tiny or large form as hero. All right, anyway. Plan of Army of Ants, which allows me to draw a card. All right. Ooh, we got Giant Man. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out there. That's pretty cool. So I think we're going to get Giant Man into play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom! Big old Giant Man. Now I get to draw a card because I used another PIM's particles. So I have a team building exercise, which I'm not going to be able to use. All right. Now, Giant Man is massive. Look at that. So he's going to have 4 health on him, and then he gets +2 attack while he has 3 or more remaining hit points. So right off the bat here, he's going to hit for 4, which is crazy. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to have our army of ants. So just... there we go. If you're a tiny hero form, exhaust army of ants, deal damage to an enemy. So we're going to have our army of ants go ahead and do a damage to get rid of the toughness. Then we're going to have Giant Man. He's going to attack for 2. So he's going to do 4 damage to the armored guard. We're going to take the armored guard out. And then we're going to have Ant-Man exhaust. And we're going to use our 2 thwart to take the 2 off the defense network and clean up the defense network. All right, now that's going to be the end of the round. I think I'm going to get rid of my team building exercise because I'm not excited about that card. and see if we can get 5 other cards. Now, all of my double resources have went away. I think I saw, was that 2 of my PIMS particles? I think I only have 2 PIMS particles. So like I've gone through all my cool resource cards. All right, so we're gonna get 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I guess what I haven't seen is I didn't see any of my other allies go through there, right? Nope, so all my allies are still in there. But I did manage to get enough resources to pay for Giant Man, which is cool because he's very expensive. And I happen to have the right resources at the right time to get him out there. All right, anyway, what are we looking at next round? We got a resize. Swarm Tactics probably won't do us any good. Hive Mind, which we haven't seen a whole lot. That's a remove 2 threat from a scheme, which is not really going to help me out a lot in the next round. We do have a call for aid, so we could go after an ally. So anyway, let's get going. We're going to put 1 threat on the main scheme. Boom. Next up, we've got Klaw. It's going to see Ant-Man out there. Oop, I need to get rid of my counters here. All right. Klaw's going to see Ant-Man out there, and he's going to come attack. We're going to take this one because we've taken no damage thus far. So he attacks for 0, and he gets 2 boost cards because that's kind of Klaw's thing. And we're going to take 3 damage. All right. Because our boost icon's down there. 1, 2, 3. 3 damage. All right. So I'm just going to drop that right here. We have a total of 12, and we took 3. All right. Then we need an encounter card. Counter card is Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. Oh, there goes my army of ants. Is the only support I have out there is my army of ants, so it's going to go away. Lame. Okay. Well, I guess that could be better than it surging. I don't know for sure, but okay. So that's the end of the villain's turn. We're over to the hero side at this point. So I do have a resize, which would allow me to flip to big size and lay the smackdown a little bit. Or I could call for aid and, well, maybe we'll hold on to that. Now, the Hive Mind isn't going to do us a lot of good. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my Hive Mind to put my Giant Strength into play. So Giant Strength says, after you change to Giant Hero form, you get +1 attack until the end of the turn. All right. So we're gonna get that into play and set it over to the side over here, using our Hive Mind to pay for that. And then I think we're going to morph into huge size. So we're going to get big. Go from tiny to big. Actually, we will use our resize to go from tiny to big instead of our built-in shift. So when we do that, it says hero action, change to your other hero form, draw a card. So we're going to use our resize to do that. That's going to allow us to draw a card. And when I change form, I deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we're going to knock him down to 11. All right. Then, let's see here. Because we change size, after you change to giant form, you get +1 attack until the end of the turn. So I've got +1 attack right now. So I think we're going to lay the smackdown as Ant-Man. And we're going to do attack for 4 damage. So we're going to take him from 11 down to 7. All right, we're going to use our Swarm Tactics to put a reinforced suit on Giant Man. So we'll make him a little bit bigger. That's going to allow him to do that great +2 attack for a little while longer. So we'll go ahead and exhaust him. He's going to do 2 + 2, so he's going to do 4 points of damage. We'll end up taking another consequential on him. So he's going to go from 7 down to 3. All right. Now, I haven't done my form switch on Ant-Man, so do I want to? I could shift into, because I think the problem with being Ant-Man is that your hand size ends up being really small. And I could go Scott Lang mode, which might be an option to set myself up with a good hand size in order to take Klaw into the next round. We've got a lot of potential threat left out there, so I think we're okay. So we're gonna go Scott Lang mode, We're going to use our shift to go to Scott Lang mode. When we go Scott Lang, we get to heal 1 damage. So we're a little bit better off. And then we're going to be done. So we're going to hold on to these. I'm going to hold on to my call for aid. We're going to go up to a hand size of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, that's a lot of call for aid there. So who do I still have in here? I've got Ronin in here, I've got Stinger in here, and I've got Wasp in here still. So lots of good stuff. All right, we're going to go over the villain's turn. What's going to happen on the villain's turn? We put 1 threat on the main scheme. Now Klaw is going to see Scott Lang out there, and he's going to scheme. He's going to scheme for 2. I forgot he gets a bonus of 2, but he only gets 1 card. So he's going to scheme for 2. He's going to get a boost of, if this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero, which it didn't. So he's just going to scheme for 2. All right. Now, we're going to draw our encounter card. Encounter card is... oh, he's going to scheme again. So he's going to scheme for 2. He's going to get a boost of... none, but that's still going to be enough to make the underground distribution pop. All right, so we move past underground distribution, and we're going to go into 2A. Let's see here. So we've got Secret Rendezvous. Secret Rendezvous says, Klaw has found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop this sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. So when revealed, discard cards from the counter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. So we have to get some cronies out there. And then this one goes up to 8. All right, so let's go find a crony. Let's see what we find. So is that a minion? Nope. Yeah, it's another armored guard. All right, so we've got another armored guard comes into play. And he's going to have toughness on him. Where's that tough? There it is. Okay, well, the great plan to take Klaw out this turn has been stymied a little bit, but hopefully we can fix that. All right, so we're done with the Klaw's turn. We're over to the hero side of stuff. Now, I think, is there anything we want to do with Scott Lang? We don't really need to heal. So I think we're going to go ahead and just right off the bat, we're going to go big size. Or wait, hold on. There's a thing that we can look at here. We've got Ant-Man's helmet. Ooh, so if we go Ant-Man's helmet, when I change to giant form, I can heal 2. So maybe I want to get that into play first. So what I would be looking at would be 3. So I think that's what I want to do. So we're going to do some stuff before we change forms. I'm going to spend 3 here, put on Ant-Man's helmet. All right. And then we're going to spend 1 to go ahead and give Giant Man the power gloves also. So he's all kinds of suited up. All right. Now we're going to shift to giant form. So we do giant form, we get to do our giant nuisance, which is after I change this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy, which is going to take the tough off of the armored guard. All right. Also, after you change to giant form, heal 2 damage. So I'm going to heal back up to full. That worked out really well. Now I can take out, how do I want to do this? I think we're going to take out the armored guard with Ant-Man. So Ant-Man's going to activate. He's going to do 3. He's got a bonus because he just changed, so he actually does 4 to the armored guard and takes the armored guard out. All right. So right now, we've got Giant Man there, and he gets +2 attack while he has 3 or more remaining hit points. So he's got 2 or 4 + 2, so he's got 6 total, and he's taken 2. So we're going to go ahead and have him attack. When he attacks, he's going to do 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do it to Klaw. So it's going to be enough to take Klaw out. So Klaw 1 goes away, Klaw 2 comes out. He comes out with 18 hit points. So 10, 5, 2, and a 1. That makes 18. I think I'm doing my math right there. Also, we have when revealed, we need to get the Immortal Klaw out. So let's find Search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw. That's going to come into play. That's going to get 3 on it. So 2, 3. And that's going to give him a bonus 10 hit points. So let's mark that down here. We'll just throw the 10 down here in the corner. All right, now as part of Giant Man's attack, then the claws kick in, which is a response. After attached ally attacks or thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we'll go ahead and do that. 1 damage to the claw. Okay, so we've activated, use all of our stuff. We've got no cards. Immortal Claws out there. We need to remember that it's got an acceleration token, and we're done. We're going to drop to our hand size of 4, which is kind of sad, but that's what we get. Ooh, it's the Wasp, Stinger, the Suit, and Ronin. So all of our allies came out at once, which is not how you want your allies to come out. But yeah, I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. All right. And I need to take 1 more consequential damage on Giant Man because he attacked. Keep forgetting about that. Okay. So we are done. Next thing we're over to is the villain's turn. So villain's turn, what we got going on is 2 threat on the main scheme because we have acceleration there. So we get 2. Klaw, who's boosted up to 1 now for his base attack, is going to see Ant-Man out there. I've taken no damage, so we're going to take this attack. So he's going to get 2 boost cards. And we see a 1, and then exhaust each ally I control. Oh, he exhausted Ant-Man. All right, so we're going to take 2 damage because there's 1 base plus 1 from the boost on the gang up there. All right, 2 damage to big ol' Ant-Man. All right, where are we at next? Next is Encounter card. Encounter card is Sonic Boom. When revealed, spend 3 or exhaust each character you control. All right, how much do I care about? Well, I can't spend the 3 because I don't have it, so I'm going to have to exhaust. Kind of answers that question. All right, so everybody's exhausted going into my turn. That's the end of the villain's turn. All right, I'd kind of like to get that Immortal Klaw out of there. I can definitely take another hit, so I don't think that that's a big deal. So if I bring Wasp out, after Wasp enters play, deal 2 damage to an enemy if I'm in giant form. Remove 2 threat from a scheme if I'm in tiny form. So I think I'm going to switch to tiny form and bring Wasp out. I don't think. That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to... So I'm going to switch to tiny form. We're going to go Ant-Man to tiny Ant-Man. So when I do that, a few things happen. First is my Puny Pest kicks off, and Puny Pest says, after you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So we're going to take 1 off of the Immortal Klaw. All right. The other thing that's going to happen is our helmet should kick in. Helmet says, hero response, after you change to tiny form, draw a card. So I get to draw a card. And we get a Giant Stomp. Ooh. So the interesting part about that is I could save that for next round, or I could use it as a resource to pay for Wasp and save something else. I think I'm going to hold on to it for next round. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, and we're going to bring Wasp into play. So Wasp says... Let's see here. After Wasp enters play, there's blah, 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 giant, or remove 2 threat from a scheme if you're in tiny hero form. So I'm in tiny hero form. We're going to take 2 threat off of a scheme, and the Immortal Klaw is going to go away, which means his bonus 10 hit points go away. All right, I could have taken 2 off of the main, but I think we're okay there. All right, next up, we're going to exhaust. We're going to do 2 damage to Klaw, so he's down to 15. All right, that's the end of our turn. Giant Man didn't get to do anything because Klaw had pulled some shenanigans there. So we're finished. We're going to draw back up to 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, villain's turn. Put 1 threat on the main scheme. We've got Klaw. I was going to look at Ant-Man. I've only taken 2 damage, so I think we're okay with that, unless he pulls some crazy boost card that does something weird. I'm all right with this. So he's doing 1, and he can get boosts of 2, 3, 4. So a total of 4 damage I'm taking. That's not too bad. The only problem is if I take another hit, I may need to throw somebody in front of it, because at 6 damage, I'm halfway. Yeah, we're all right. Okay, let's see what we get for our encounter card. That will help decide what's going to happen here. Encounter card says, oh, Radioactive Man's going to come into play. All right, that's not all that big of a deal. So Radioactive Man's out there. All right, so what are we looking at here? I think, so Radioactive Man doesn't have like toughness or guard or anything, so we don't necessarily have to worry about him if we can do the 15 damage. So looking at the damage we've got 4, 5, 6. I think we can do it. So let's try to make this happen. Let's see, how do we want to play this first? We want to do our Giant Stomp, which is going to cost us 3. So I think we're going to save these 3 to do the Giant Stomp. We're going to go ahead and play, we'll play Moxie after we change forms. All right, so we're going to change form to giant form. We're going to go big. Big Ant-Man. Boom. All right, after I change this form, deal damage to an enemy. So we're going to take the Klaw from 15 down to 14. Make sure we bookkeep all of this right. All right, when that happens, we get a bonus from Giant Strength, which is going to give us +1 attack. The helmet's going to go off, and the helmet heals us 2. After you change to giant form, heal 2 from your hero. All right, so I get a little bit of healing. All right, we are going to attack with Wasp for 2. That's going to take him down to 12. And she gets a consequential damage for doing that. Actually, she should have one from last round, so she should be at 2. All right. Then we're going to attack with Giant Man. So let's figure out his attack first. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, and then he's going to get an additional 1 there, so that's going to be 5. And then after that, he's going to take consequential damage. So he's going to do 5 damage. We're going to knock him down to 7. All right. Ant-Man gets to attack. So Ant-Man's going to attack for 3. He gets that boost of 1. Actually, we'll do our Moxie too. After we change form, we can get +1 thwart, attack, and defense until the end of the round. So that's going to make us attack for 5. So we've got 3, 4, plus the Moxie is 5. That knocks him down to 2. We're going to spend 1, 2, 3. We're going to drop a Giant Stomp. Boom! And you can see like right underneath that boot right there, that's where Klaw's at. That's all the sound coming up from getting smushed there. So, schmack, that's 8 damage to Klaw. That takes Klaw out. Oh, and we do 1 damage to Radioactive Man. So, just for good measure, because I really dislike Radioactive Man. So there we go. We took him out. Yes! And that seemed to go really well. So, the pre-con Ant-Man deck is handling Klaw, at least at standard level, really well. So, really, really like the Ant-Man deck. Seems nearly as powerful as the Doctor Strange deck. I don't think it's quite Doctor Strange level, but it's pretty dang close. And just the whole flippin' forms thing is just a lot of fun to play. I really like that. So it'll be interesting to start constructing the deck and see what happens when you go that route. I do like the pre-con deck, though. It's really good. And I actually made use of the helmet this round. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's it for this playthrough. Let me know if there's anything that I missed there. It seemed to go fairly smooth, but sometimes I miss things. If I did, let me know in the comments. Let me know how your Ant-Man playthroughs are going through. You crushing it with Ant-Man, or is he just gonna, he's all right. I'm not too pleased with him. Also, what's your favorite aspect? Because now I'm thinking about maybe doing some Ant-Man building. Stick with leadership. I usually play aggression. That tends to be one of my favorite things. And with all this stomp and flip and do damage, and I'm thinking Ant-Man would be a great aggression deck. But his stuff with Wasp, he's got a lot of built-in thwart ability too. So just lots of cool avenues there. So what's your favorite aspect to play with Ant-Man? Are you playing Ant-Man Protection? Maybe that's the one aspect that I don't see Ant-Man great at, but he's got 3 defense too, so yeah, and he's got some healing built in. Wow, what aspect would he be bad with? I don't know. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching.